Crazy eyes.
What? Oh, yeah. Hey, eat.
How you doing, pal? I got your pizza for you just the way you like it.
Oh, yes. French fries and Oreos. You know me all too well, Deeds.
What's up? It's Chris, the Drone Geek, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Drones. Let's Talk Drones is brought to you by The Droning Company, the #1 online resource for commercial drone pilots. Whether you've been flying drones commercially for years or you're a hobbyist looking to jump into commercial drone piloting, The Droning Company is a great place to start. They have a second-to-none job board, which has opportunities varying from 1 and 2 off gigs all the way up to becoming a staff drone pilot for a company. You can make a career out of it with The Droning Company. All you have to do is sign up for a membership. It starts at $10 monthly, and there's also an option for a $99 annual membership. You just have to pay that $99 up front, save some money on the back end, and you'll be set with The Droning Company. Plus, there's tons of information, resources, articles that can help you stay up to date on rules, regulations, and more. Make sure you check them out, thedroningcompany.com. Now, I had a lot of ideas for today's video. I had a Mavic 2 versus Mavic 3 comparison video that I partnered with Matthew Sherwood to do, and that one's still coming, but I needed to put that on the back burner. I had an idea to do a company profile for the Droning Company. Had to put that one on the back burner because when I was on Twitter the other day, I was about to post something and I saw something pop up on my feed from our friend Jasper Ellens at Jasper Ellens 27 Leaks. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at Jasper Ellens 27 Leaks. Lots of really good, credible stuff coming out of his Twitter feed. And believe me, if you love drone news, rumors, and more, Jasper Ellens is a great resource, especially if you really want to be ahead of the curve and know what's coming down the pipe before it actually gets here. So check him out, Jasper Ellens 27 Leaks on Twitter. Anyway, as I was scrolling through my newsfeed getting ready to post something, I saw a post from Jasper that showed an image that is reportedly leaked to be the DJI Mini 3 box. I'm gonna put this up on the screen now. And when you look at this image, there's one really glaring thing that you're gonna see that I'm sure your eyes have been drawn to, and it's giving you that WTF moment, and it's those obstacle avoidance sensors and the actual build of the drone. We'll get to that in just a second because there's plenty to talk about there. What I wanna talk about is, first of all, the credibility of this leak. It is still a leak, even though Jasper is more often than not right, and I would say his success rate in terms of being right about rumors and leaks is about as close as you get to 100%. I mean, he's probably 99.9999999% of the time right about the things that he's posting on his Twitter feed. But a lot of people are calling into question the legitimacy of this image. And I'm no expert in terms of examining photographs for credibility, but I do have some experience in Photoshop. Of course, I have some experience in photo editing and taking photos, and I wanted to get to the bottom of whether or not this was a photoshopped or faked image. There's nothing on this photo that really points out to me that this is something that isn't real or isn't credible. There's no artifacting, there's no mismatch of shadows or lighting. Nothing seems to indicate that this is a faked image. This looks 100% legitimate. So that's the first thing that jumps out at me about this photo, is that this isn't fake. This is a real photo that was taken, and whether it was leaked intentionally or not, it looks like it's a real leak from DJI. The other thing isn't so much on this photo, but it's something we need to consider when we question whether or not this is a real leak. We saw a leaked DJI product roadmap that is still sort of in question as to whether or not it's legitimate, whether or not it's actually going to play out the way that roadmap indicates. But the roadmap did indicate that we would be seeing the DJI Mini 3 in the spring of 2022. And if my calendar is correct, it's March, which means that we're heading into the spring season. So, at least for people on this side of the globe. So, yeah, we're right on track to see a DJI Mini 3. There's really a lot of signs that point to this thing is legit, and this is what we're gonna see when the DJI Mini 3 hits shelves. So now that we've sort of called those two things out, let's take a look at the rest of the clues dropped on this box, or at least the points of interest on this box. The first one we're gonna look at concrete is that drone, the build of the body, the changes from the Mini 2 and the Mini 1 over to this reported Mini 3. The obstacle avoidance sensor sensors. I mean, that's why I showed Steve Buscemi as Crazy Eyes in Adam Sandler's Big Daddy at the beginning of this video, is because that was the first thing that came to mind. I saw this drone, I saw the picture of the drone on the box, and I thought, wow, those are some Crazy Eye obstacle avoidance sensors. And you know, I really don't want to knock DJI too much here, because not that my voice really matters to them all that much, but I've been complaining that DJI hasn't put obstacle avoidance on their Mini drones since the Mini 1. Now, aside from not giving the Mini 1 4K video capabilities, the biggest mistake that DJI made with the Mini 1 and even the Mini 2 was not incorporating some sort of obstacle avoidance system. And really the big challenge was fitting something that advanced and all of that technology into the drone while keeping the weight under 250 grams so that you didn't have to register it with the FAA as a hobbyist pilot. Because ultimately, that's what the Mini is made for. It's made for entry-level pilots that are trying to get familiar with the DJI ecosystem and are just learning how to fly GPS drones. So the fact that the Mini 3 has obstacle avoidance on it, it has that safety feature, I have to just applaud DJI and give you kudos, because that's really what needed to happen for a drone that is arguably being marketed to beginners and almost exclusively to beginners. I know there is a subsect of that market of weekend warriors that want a small but advanced aerial camera in their bag, and the Mini has always fit that need. There are two more things on the body of this drone that I want to point out. The next one being the cutout at the top front of the drone. So in previous versions of the Mavic and the Mini, there's a lip that hangs over top of the gimbal and camera system. It sort of protects it from elements. I don't know if it was originally designed that way, but the gimbal and the camera sit underneath that lip at the top of the drone body. It's missing here. There's nothing in that gap between the two obstacle avoidance sensors. Now you might say, well, that's just to cut down on weight. They needed to trim as much of the fuselage off so they can make room for the weight of the obstacle avoidance system that they're putting into the drone. And that might be true, but the other question that I just want to put in your head now is, could we see new functionality with this gimbal and camera assembly? You've seen it all the time on the internet. People that use their drone to get a top-down shot, and then they move forward, backward, whatever direction to get a top-down video clip of whatever they're filming. Now, let's just say we could reverse that and we could point the camera directly up. I mean, the Mavic 2 had the ability to tilt the camera up 30 degrees, and I never had any issues with seeing the lip on the top of the drone in my shot. But I always thought, you know, how cool would it be to be able to get some sort of a vertigo shot where you flew the drone, like let's say in a city between skyscrapers or really tall buildings, and you were able to point the camera directly upward, much like you do when you point it directly downward. Why can't you do that? Could the Mini 3 have that capability? Will we see the first ever drone made by DJI where you can tilt the gimbal and camera up all the way and just get a straight up and down shot? It's not gonna open a lot of different creative possibilities, but it certainly will open the door for a few creative possibilities that we've never seen before when it comes to drone cameras. The last thing I wanna point out on the body of this drone is the way that the arms fold. So you'll see that the DJI Mini 3 no longer has the same fold-out features on the arms. It looks like they're adopting more of the style of the Evo drone. And what I mean by that, if you look at this picture up close of the arm assembly and where the joints are on the arms, you'll see that the top arms actually fold backwards, and they're the rear arms now. And the front arms will either fold, it looks like maybe downwards to come out to the front, or maybe they'll fold out as well. It's really hard to tell from this picture, but the arm assembly on this drone is completely different, and it's actually been flip-flopped. The back arms are on the top now, and the top arms are on the bottom, or the front arms are on the bottom now. So there's gonna be a new functionality with these arms, and I'm sort of excited to see what DJI came up with. Not that it's going to greatly impact the flight capability of this drone, but it's just something a little bit different and will give this drone a little bit of personality compared to its predecessors, as well as the other drones in the DJI family. The last thing I want to point out about this leak, and it's another detail on the front of that box, is it's the DJI Mini 3 Pro. So what does that mean? Does that mean that we're going to see different iterations of this drone? Does that mean that this drone comes with the professional RC, which you can see also pictured on this box? Or does it mean that we're going to have a drone that is a professional upgrade from the Mini 2? It's really hard to tell. My bet would be we're gonna have the same drone that's paired with 2 different remotes. If you buy the DJI Mini Standard, you'll get the standard RC. If you buy the DJI Mini 3 Pro, you're gonna get that Pro RC with it, but the drone will function largely the same. They may throw Pro owners a bone just by adding a few smart flight features and some other things to it that would maybe change the game a little bit. But I really think that we're gonna have the same drone with a different RC to it. So who knows, it's really too early to tell. I know that the DJI Mini 3 is right around the corner, and this leak has really reinforced that we will see the DJI Mini 3 this spring, the spring of 2022. I would say the projection is for March on that DJI roadmap. I'd be more willing to agree with that we might see this in late March, early April though. Really hard to tell. Don't take my word for it. This is all just leaks, all just rumors. And I, again, just want to take a moment to thank Jasper Ellens 27 Leaks on Twitter. If you're not following him and you have a Twitter account, make sure you go do that as soon as you finish this video, because he has got some of the most up-to-date news, rumors, and leaks that you can possibly find. And again, his accuracy rating for being right on these things is like 99.9999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999 what are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I've got tons of video content coming in the year of 2022. I can't wait to share some of it with you. There's a lot of exciting stuff that's going on this year, as well as stuff to look forward to next year with the FAA regulations that we're gonna be talking about more as the year drags on. Woo! Also, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up icon. It helps me get out into the algorithm a little bit more and get to more people that are interested in drone content. Again, this is your second reminder to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. And until next time, I'm Chris, the Drone Geek, and I am out of here.